What's going on, everybody? Let's see who we got. Sidhu, what's up? Number one. First again. What is that? 3 days in a row? I like that. Where'd my Weeble go? 1 second. Oh, it's over there. Cool. Who else? Dr. Dre, what's up? Shuba, what's going on? Hey, Rick. Hope so, you're in. Nice. Aetherium is flying. What's up, Ray? Yeah, finally. It was lagging a bit. To the moon, says Robbie. What's going on, Robbie? Welcome back. James says, hey, what's up, James? I think when we get past 43K, it'll take off pretty fast. Exactly. Yesterday was a great show. Appreciate that. Anybody think $3 Doge is possible one day? Yes, but that's currently about the max. All right, let me share my screen here. Thank you all for hanging out. This is not going to be a very long stream today. Not feeling too great. Plus, there's not too much to talk about, so we won't waste too much time. Hey, good morning, Damo. What's up, FPF? $10 possible in a couple years. Here's the thing. Well, let me turn the music down so you guys can actually hear me. So here's the thing. When you're talking about price potential for a cryptocurrency, there's a couple things you have to factor in. Market cap is one big factor. Market cap in relation to what the leaders are in the crypto game, first of all, but also what are the leaders in that space. So, for example, if you're talking about, well, let's just go to cryptomarketcap.com and sort by categories. And this will sort out all of the different cryptocurrencies and split them into 120 different categories, as you can see here. Now there's 122. They actually added some within the last week. And let's just go into the cryptocurrencies that let you trade options in a decentralized manner. So as you can see here, there's about, I don't know, 8 different cryptocurrencies here. Now, the easiest way to see someone's price potential is if you are not the one in first place in that sector. Wait, what was that? Okay. If you are not the one in first place in that particular sector. So let's say we can tell obviously by market cap that Hedgic here is in first place at 68 million. Then you've got some of the newcomers here like FinNexus is a $6,000 market cap. So the easiest way to tell someone's price potential is just say, all right, well, this is in the same category as this. So if this FinNexus gets to a point where it's just as good as Hedgic, it has potential to at least be the same market cap because they should be worth about the same thing. So that tells you right there what the price target for FinNexus could be if it ended up being just as good and also getting some popularity behind it. So that's the easiest way. The problem for determining someone's market cap is when in that sector you are the first place one. Because these guys are playing catch up to first place market cap, but first place market cap is the one leading the way. And so it's Hedgic's responsibility to continue to gain more valuable, gain more traction and popularity, so that drives the price up and the market cap up. So while the other guys have all this room to run, like from here to here, Hedgic's already at the ceiling and it has to push the ceiling. So it has a harder time increasing in value, where these guys, you know, the 7 million market cap, its price target is 68 million. So basically this can 10x. But this guy right here probably isn't just going to 10x. I hope that makes sense. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is because when you go and you look, let's just go into cryptocurrencies in general. Dogecoin's already in the top 10. And usually when Dogecoin's doing better and you get rid of Tether and things like that, Dogecoin's right about in the top 5 at least. Dogecoin is a retail-focused coin. You know, the focus of Dogecoin, the whole purpose of it is not to be like a network, not to provide a layer 2 solution to anything or anything crazy. Its main purpose is to be used for buying things with and selling things for. The only other thing really in that space that most people know about is XRP. And nobody really considers XRP competition for Dogecoin because few people actually care about XRP to that extent. Even though fundamentally XRP is pretty decent. It just doesn't have a community like that. So, this doesn't sound like an instrumental. Please hold. Can't be having the guy rapping while I'm talking, you know? All right, here we go. Sorry about that. So, basically my point is Dogecoin, XRP, they are transaction-focused cryptocurrencies. Other than that, what is a transaction-focused cryptocurrency anywhere here than like the top 20? Well, there are none. So, you're looking at Dogecoin and XRP being the ceiling. So, they're the ones setting the lead. If there were any other cryptocurrencies that decided to challenge Dogecoin, then they would have room to grow from wherever they start from, 1, 2 million or billion or whatever. And then their goal, their price target would be to reach Dogecoin's value, which is 27 billion, for example. But Dogecoin is up here at the top already. So unless Dogecoin continues to get better, it's already at its ceiling. The only way Dogecoin goes up in value is if it creates more value somehow. So then once you're a leading market cap coin, the easiest way to determine how much room you have to run is to look at, obviously these guys here, they don't do the same thing as Dogecoin, but they are kind of the ceiling for what's possible. Because honestly, these are much more valuable. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Network, store value coin that's like digital gold, and here you just have a coin. Like a arcade token that we've assigned value to for funsies. And it's catching on, but that's besides the point. So technically, if we want to say that Dogecoin, a retail-focused only coin, is really good, but maybe not as good as something like Ethereum, who is a whole network for coins, and that Dogecoin's potentially even going to run on the network of Ethereum. So this is like the car, this is a highway, they're two different things. Then Dogecoin has potential to get up to, let's just say, almost 10x what it is right now, while still being and respecting Ethereum's market cap, because we know Dogecoin is not currently better than Ethereum, but we know that so we could say Dogecoin's maybe worth being in third place under Ethereum. So it has room for the market cap to go from 27 billion to, let's just say, 270 billion. That would leave it in third place while still giving it room to run. That's 10x current, which means we're at $2. Now, when the market recovers, Ethereum's usually somewhere around like 400 billion. So, or like, you know, somewhere near 350 billion, something like that. So that gives Dogecoin room. We've done the math before, but just to keep this short, gives Dogecoin room to somewhere around $3.30 without passing Ethereum's market cap. Now, that's saying that Dogecoin obviously also finds some more value in what it does in its space. So it needs to be really good at what it's trying to be good at. So global or just very widespread adoption, and, you know, potentially some more features coming with smart contracts and the ETH bridge and all that. Once Dogecoin has everything in its favor, looks like somewhere around $3 isn't unreasonable to set as a max. Now, saying anything higher than that is a bit ridiculous, because then you're saying Dogecoin's worth more than Ethereum network, which has thousands of coins on it. I don't think that's true. And obviously Bitcoin we're not catching up to. So the only way that Dogecoin is going to go really beyond $3 and further is if the market continues to go up and Dogecoin has more cap space while also being able to still remain in that third place spot. So basically what I'm saying is Bitcoin at $1 trillion one day, Ethereum at 500 billion. That gives Dogecoin much more room, while still respecting the fact that it shouldn't be matched with or higher than Ethereum. So that's where we could see $5 if Ethereum's way higher in valuation, or 5 years from now Bitcoin's worth 3 trillion, Ethereum's worth $1 trillion, and Dogecoin now has more room to run without being ridiculously valued. So yeah, there's the answer to that. Sorry that was long, but thank you for the subscribe, David. Appreciate that. Yeah, it would take some time. We need to see Bitcoin and Ethereum give us breathing room to obtain that market cap. Now, if Dogecoin gets substantially better at what it does now, so it just becomes clearly the number one go-to coin for buying and selling, and it's globally accepted as such, then saying that its worth in its space could be the equivalent to Ethereum's worth in its space might make sense, but currently that's just not the case. And don't forget, guys, click the like button if you haven't. I really appreciate it. It'll help us out greatly. Thank you. Good morning to Damo. What's up, Preezy? Why does Dogecoin look dead in spite of Bitcoin pump? That's what we always talk about. Basically, when the altcoins, because you got to think, most of the big money, they're on the Bitcoin side. There's less volatility here in Bitcoin. Large market cap, generally smarter buyers and sellers, which with much larger bank accounts. In the altcoin space, you've usually got a lot of retail traders for the most part, especially as you go down the market cap list to smaller companies. The retail traders like to chase momentum moves. They don't like to buy at, typically if they're new, they don't like to buy low and sell high. They like they catch a glimpse of momentum. So they see the price going from low to high, and then they get excited and interested, and they're like, ooh, I want to jump on that train as the train's already going. So if they're not convinced that the train is not going, they're not going to buy. They want to see confirmation of momentum. So basically, retail traders are basically like breakout traders in the stock market. They will start buying in once we make a new high, and they're technically buying the top, but the thing is, if we make a new high on Bitcoin, we probably are going to take off in reverse. So in that case, it won't be a bad trade. So anyway, long story short, altcoins are probably not going to move very much until Bitcoin confirms it is actually going to reverse. There's a lot of people skeptical right now, and they don't want to buy into the market. If Bitcoin does try one more time, fail again, and ends up crashing back down, because the altcoins didn't rise with the rise of the market, but they're going to fall with the fall of the market, we're going to end up seeing new lows on Dogecoin soon. So this could either be really good or very, very, very bad. Unless you like buying dips, which we do. In that case, it's very good, as long as you play it right. What's up, Skydive? Hit that like button, 627. Come on, y'all. Appreciate it. Yeah, the like ratio is a little off. I don't see everybody clicking that button. What market cap can go higher? Networks like Aetherium or payment coins like Doge? As of now, payment coins are not as established as networks. So the answer to that right now would be by far networks. We have not seen a payment coin, except for, you could say Bitcoin is kind of a store of value coin, but fundamentally it's not good to use natively in alone, standalone as a value, like a currency. You wouldn't want to take Bitcoin and pay with it in a store. It would take too long. The blockchain is slow, and it's purposely made that way. But that just creates a problem. But then you've got things like Dogecoin and XRP, which are setting out to be similar to Bitcoin, except for the deflationary aspect, in that it's just a store of value. It doesn't do anything crazy, utility-wise. It's just a currency that's assigned a US dollar value that fluctuates over time. But the good thing about XRP and Dogecoin is that fundamentally they're good, or aiming to be good enough to be used like standalone at a retail location for payment. So where Bitcoin, and this is where we talked about before, why Flexa, the AMP coin, why that's so important, because what that does is it bridges that gap and allows coins that suck for, honestly, for retail payments like Bitcoin, because things like Bitcoin would take, with the slow blockchain and approval process, it would take like 20 minutes to get a transaction verified if you're in a store and you want some secured confirmations from the miners. Whereas something like Dogecoin would take about a minute. Or XRP, maybe even faster than that. I forget the specs on XRP. But so that's where Flexa comes in with the AMP coin and the AMP network. And basically, if a Flexa AMP becomes the middleman. So you can use things like Bitcoin and get instant approval. And then AMP will just kind of provide the collateral to secure the whole thing. So that's why AMP is very good. But just to directly answer your question, at this moment, networks, but we don't have anything other than Bitcoin that can even give us a glimpse into what the potential is for a payment coin that would get globally accepted. So I think, this is just my guess, but I think Dogecoin could match or maybe bump a little bit ahead of Ethereum with global adoption and everything going right for it as far as like utility is concerned. So, we get the transaction speed update, we get the transaction fee reduction update, maybe the Doge ETH bridge as well, maybe introduction of smart contracts and other functionality to add some utility to the Dogecoin. With all those things together, I think we could probably be ahead of Ethereum. Or, it would probably be like a game of both of them trying to catch up to each other constantly. And just be comfortably right behind Bitcoin. Hey, Juan, glad you could catch me today. What's the top price for Ethereum in 3 years? Well, I think Ethereum next year will be somewhere anywhere from like $10,000 to $15,000 per, just depending on what time frame of the year you're talking. I think the real thing that's going to make Ethereum go up in value is going to be ETH2. ETH2 is really going to be the game changer for Ethereum. I mean, they've also got the EIP 1559 update coming, which is pretty big, and you could see here in my article I was just reading about this. I already knew what it means, but basically, yeah, it might be a little pain in the butt for some of the miners as they'll lose some revenue, but basically it creates this situation where Ethereum could potentially become somewhat deflationary if there's enough demand. So that's going to make the price go up if that works out. But either way, ETH2 is a big catalyst. And that should be coming early next year. So I think when that comes, we could see ETH towards 10, 12,000, maybe ending the year somewhere 15-ish. I don't know. We'll have to see. There's also talk of government regulations, which has to be factored in, because what will that do to the crypto space? Thank you all for those likes, by the way. We're at 15. If you can help me get to 30, that would mean the world. Thank you. Josh Kampal, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Is Doge going to crash? Only if Bitcoin crashes here, and that's kind of up in the air as far as what's going to happen. Brandon says, is this the 45,000 pump? Well, it depends. We need to break 42,551. That's the previous high that we hit after the crash. And so we're not going to head to 45,000 until we can make that new high. Currently, the high we just set, like yesterday here, this was 730. So yesterday was 42,413. So we didn't quite make it. Not quite. And we have been selling off since then. If we can break up to the top side here and get past basically where this white line is, right around 42,550, and be comfortable above there, we'll probably be heading up way higher. And that's where we'll see 45, 50, 55, and head back towards where we came from. The only concern is this is just off of hype from Amazon potentially accepting Bitcoin as payment by the end of the year, and that rumor was from an insider, not necessarily a confirmed source. So that's why I question the longevity of this move, and I wonder if it's actually going to hold. Thank you for that like. We're at 16 now. Appreciate that. I'm looking to invest into FTM, LRC, or ZIL. What do you think of these? Honestly, I don't know anything about either of them, but let me take a look. Is Doge crashing? No, not yet. But we'll flip over to the Dogecoin chart. 18, guys. Appreciate that. 2089. No, Dogecoin's doing just fine. Bit of a cup here as well. So, yeah, Dogecoin looks fine. Let's check Ethereum. Ethereum was doing very well yesterday. Wow, look at Ethereum at 2,500. That's actually crazy. That's very good. That's surprisingly good. Looks like... Huh. Look at that. Just kind of doing its own thing aside from Bitcoin. That's great to see. Maybe it has to do with the EIP 1559 update coming. Proud of Aetherium. Mostly proud of it because I have money in it. 11 green days in a row. That might be pushing it a bit. Yeah, I hope so, though. I just want Bitcoin to crash so I can buy more. I made a lot just with this 1 week pump. Awesome. Glad to hear that, Brandon. I would like to see Bitcoin pull back as well. Here's the thing. I like volatility. Thank you for, we're at 20 now. Appreciate that. 20 likes. I love volatility. Traders like volatility. It lets you buy low, sell high, rinse, repeat. As many times as it happens, as many times as you can execute that trade and keep making profit off that same move each time. Buy at the bottom, sell at the high, watch it fall, buy at the bottom, sell at the high. And you can just keep doing that. That's why I've liked us being crashed, because you don't have to buy at 20 cents and wait for Dogecoin to hit $1. That's an 80-cent profit right there. All you need is Dogecoin to go from 20 to 30 cents 8 times, and you've made the same amount of profit. People forget that. You can trade. You don't always have to hodl. If you're a hodler, though, that's perfectly fine and respectable. Obviously, my store name is named after hodling. But you don't have to. That's not the only way to make money, is the price going from bottom to the moon. It just depends on how active you want to be interacting with the asset. Let's see. 11 green days in a row, though. Yeah, I mean, we've had a big run up. I don't know if it's quite 11 in a row. We did have technically 2, but positive overall. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But, I mean, this was mostly off hype. I mean, we had a nice classic reversal right here. Big red candle, bit of a doji, followed by the big green candle that engulfed it. And then that signified a reversal here. And then a breakout back to where we came from right here. And then right around this point is when we got some hype for the Amazon thing. And that really skyrocketed us up. So thank you, Mark Crockett, for that subscribe, man. Appreciate you joining. So the combination of the textbook reversal, the fact that we were making a triple bottom here, 29, 29, 29. All of those things played out nice. And then as we got to this decision point of whether we were going to pull back and do something else or take off, we got good news. And then we had bad rumor, and then dispelled rumor made us continue. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. I don't know if you guys all of you were here yesterday, but we were seeing some very, very large whale buying activity. If you just go on Twitter and go to Whale Trades account. I'm sorry. Was it Whale Trades or Whale Alert? Whale Trades. Oh. Anyway. You just see all the different whale buys and sells that have been going on. A lot of people going long here. A lot of people going short as well. Looks like mostly long. So, overall, positive feelings from bigger money. But this is fine. The only concern I have with this price action here, guys, is when you look at it. Let me zoom out to the 3-minute again. When you look at it, we had this run up. Did a bit of a flag here, triangle, a breakout here. And then ever since, we've kind of been making like, I mean, we hit here, now we hit here. Overall, the lows are kind of getting consistently lower. Now, I do like the fact that we kind of spiked out at around the same point here on this second swing here. That's not bad. But the lows are also getting lower here. As you can see, this kind of downtrend with the lows. We also had a downtrend here, but then we broke out. It's just looking still a bit questionable. We've been here for a very long time, so if you're looking for some decisive information that's going to tell us whether or not we're going to break out or not, it's just not there. That's why I'm still just a little skeptical. I am in on Aetherium, thankfully, but I'm not getting enough information here to really say like we're going to break above 42.5 or not. Really, it's one of those things where if you're in from a lower average, cool. You can just sit back and watch like I am. But if you're not in and you're trying to decide, should I buy right now or not? There is no indicator saying like, yes. If I wasn't in, I would much rather join the momentum that's going to happen once we break out of 42.55. Because overall, we're at a high. So if I just go to the 4-hour here, overall, this is buying the dip, or even here, And this is buying near what's resistance. I don't like to buy near resistance. And if I do want in at some point up here, because I don't want to miss the whole move, what I want to do is buy in at the next support. And that does not mean you have to go down to find the next support. The next support would be once you break above the next resistance and then confirm that as the next support. So I would rather wait until we broke above 42,551, look strong, and did some pullback, confirm that we're not going to crash back through, and then that's my new low. This particular spot right here, not really feeling it, because as of now, this is resistance. This is the very top, and this is a level we have not broken yet. So it just wouldn't make sense for me to really go long here unless I just kind of wanted to buy in and not care about it, which is fine too. But if you're planning to do a longer term hold and not mess with it, buying here is fine. But if you buy here, you have to say, well, my plan is not to scalp or day trade it. It's to buy and wait. Because buying at a high with a plan to scalp or day trade doesn't make any sense. Because you're most likely going to see the price go down, and then you're just going to sell at a loss. So that's setting yourself up to execute a terrible trade from the start. We were close to 42,400. Yeah, very, very, very close. But I'm not surprised that we got that close. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm just saying it was a resistance level. And so the fact that we got back up there, all right, but we bounced off of it as resistance. So, which is expected. So now we might test it again. If we bounce off again as resistance and start selling off, I mean, we could end up back down here. So we'll see. It was good that we had enough bullish momentum to even get to here. We did make a new high when you consider, if we zoom back out here, we did make a new high compared to any high made after the initial highest point. So when we first crashed, we had support at 42.5, crashed, bounced up to 42.5. That was the only time we went this high. After that, we never quite made it up as high again. So us getting to 42.4 is actually really impressive. It's the second highest point we've been since the crash. But we did not make a new high, all things considered. We need some Doge Mintum, guys. 100% agree, Ryan. Rodrigo, what's up? Since Doge has not really gone up, is it still in the deep? So it's still at a pretty good dip, but the problem is we always say buy the dip, but sometimes the dip keeps dipping, right? So the goal is to make sure that when you are buying that dip, you're actually buying the dip and not one of the dips on the way down. So the problem is, yes, Doge has not moved up with Bitcoin, which means it's still at a discount, which is great if Bitcoin takes off from here. Because if Bitcoin does break out and take off, you can still, this is what I told someone on Twitter. And let me just read my comment. It might be just easiest. So, let's see. Someone on Twitter named Jenny Cuta, or Cute, I don't know, said, honestly, if Bitcoin is near 42K, then Dogecoin should be at 42 cents. That's all I'm saying. And that makes sense, guys, because I don't know if you remember this, but when Dogecoin was doing better, Doge was following Bitcoin 1 to 1,000. So what that means is if Bitcoin was 42,000, Dogecoin was 42 cents. If Bitcoin was 38,000, Dogecoin was 38 cents. Since then, a lot of things have happened. A lot of fear in the altcoin space has risen, and we've seen that ratio of altcoin to Bitcoin price, it's fallen. So now Dogecoin's at 20 cents instead, while Bitcoin's at 42,000. So we've kind of lost half of our price momentum. What's up, Roar Nation? I was always told if you can't get here on time, just get here when you can. I like that. Yeah, you're here. You made it. That's all that matters. And so Ethereum Classic, I'm not a big fan of Ethereum Classic. I like to stick to the names that more people are familiar with. I like to go with the flow. All right. I don't know if that makes sense for everybody, and it's really just my way of doing things, but basically Ethereum Classic was a fork of Ethereum because there were people that disagreed with certain things regarding Ethereum and decisions that were being made. And so you had people go their own route with this new Ethereum called Ethereum Classic, and people go their own route with this other new Ethereum called just what it still is, Ethereum. And same with Bitcoin. You have Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin. I like to go with the ones that everyone else is going with. That just makes it way easier because you're with the one that's popular. It's unlikely that people in general are going to divert their attention for long term to one of like the what they look at as the knockoff editions of the crypto. So for example, Bitcoin is doing substantially better than Bitcoin SV and Bitcoin Cash, which means most people are going to be looking at Bitcoin. And so that means more potential will probably be on Bitcoin. Now, if one of the other guys, the alternate editions, if they have something going for them that's very, very good and makes it just stand out and all spotlight on them compared to the bigger dog, then that's a different story. But until I hear something groundbreaking about Ethereum Classic or Bitcoin Cash or something, I kind of just like to go with the one that everyone else already likes. And that makes it much easier for me to make money instead of just trying to go into these niche spaces where there's less potential. Oh, yeah. But anyway, according to this, so yeah, now Dogecoin's at 20 cents where Bitcoin's near 42. And to that being said, Ethereum Classic has had some great days and weeks recently, and that has gotten my attention. But overall, still looking at just the big dog, especially with Vitalik. And then I said to her, this is true. Doge was following Bitcoin 1 for 1,000 at one point. Fake outs and bearishness in the market has caused a lot of the usual altcoin buyers to hold off, and we've seen the altcoins slip behind and lose some ground. The good thing, though, is that due to volatility, they can rebound hard. Point being made there is that altcoins with lower market caps, and this, if you're familiar with how the stock market works, you already know how this works too. Usually, low float or low market cap, whatever, stocks, they tend to move way easier. And that's just due to a lot of different things, but a lot of time it's partially because there's less manipulation, there's less whale, big money in there, and there's a lot of retail and few coins or shares. Let's see. Huge double bottom on ETH 4 hour. Nice. Awesome. I'll check that out in a sec. But anyway, it's just what you come to realize. The lower market cap guys move way easier than the big dogs. The big dogs are, I just think of them as like heavy vehicles or trains, right? Bitcoin's like a train, Ethereum's like a school bus, and Dogecoin is like a vehicle, a Prius. And then a lot of the really, really small market cap guys like SHIB and below, they're like scooters. It's way easier to manipulate the movement of the smaller guys than it is the big dog. But the good thing about that, though, is that when something good is happening, these guys can not only move way faster, but they can cover way more distance. So yes, we are falling behind on Dogecoin, but once we get confirmation of good news and you see the smaller guys start to move, they get really, really excited and they move way faster than Bitcoin's moving. So while Bitcoin could be up 2% and we might be like down 2%. But when Bitcoin's up 15 and there's some confirmation of good things happening, the altcoins might be up like 50% instead. So they can rebound hard, they can slingshot. And then basically my point here was I said it's actually a little bit better, in my opinion, to Doge is a Cybertruck. It's actually a little bit better, in my opinion, that Dogecoin is lagging behind and not moving up with Bitcoin moving up, because what it lets you do is wait for confirmation first of a breakout on Bitcoin without losing anything on Doge. So for example, let's just say Dogecoin was following Bitcoin 1-to-1. So now I'm going to change the prices up a bit. Let's say Dogecoin was 29 cents when Bitcoin was 29,000. And then let's say Dogecoin was doing a great job just following Bitcoin. So on the way up, by this time, now Bitcoin's at 42K, which means Dogecoin's at 42 cents. 29 cents, 42 cents. At this point, if you weren't in yet, you would wait for confirmation, see if we broke out, and if so, then you would make an entrance right when Bitcoin's somewhere around probably 43,000. You would do the breakout momentum trade there. That means when you bought into Dogecoin would at this point be 43 cents. Now, in comparison, What Dogecoin lagging behind in price lets you do now is wait this whole move out, see if we are going to break out or not. And when you buy here, you're now buying Dogecoin at like 21 cents instead of 42 cents. But we know Dogecoin's still going to go back up to those prices. It just lags behind and waits for confirmation first. So then you buy in at confirmation and you get to ride the slingshot up to, quickly, Dogecoin quickly moves to 42 cents where it should have been, and then catches back up to Bitcoin and buy, 50,000, 55,000 Dogecoins back up to 50 cents. So it lets you get a free entry off with, because from here to here, Dogecoin only moved like 2 cents. But then from here to here, Dogecoin is probably going to move like 25 cents. If you see what I mean. So Dogecoin lagging behind lets you do a low risk, wait this out move. Now on the flip side, if we know what happened before, so if Bitcoin fails 42 and starts heading back down like it did again, we know that last time that happened, that's when Doge lost a lot of ground, because since it didn't follow it up on the way up, but did follow it on the way back down, we just ended up losing value in that coin. So if from here at 20 cents, Bitcoin rejects and heads back down to 30,000, 29,000 or below, by this time, Doge is probably going to be like 12 cents. So we kind of hope that we do just get a breakout here, unless you really want that kind of dip. But I don't know if I do. I think we got low enough at 16 and 17 cents, honestly. Doge has seen more sideways action than a bunch of crabs at a line dancing barn. Nice one, Ryan. What's going on, Motown? Does that mean we'll match it once again? Yes, we just need that momentum. What coins would I suggest to buy and have good profit? Ethereum is a pretty surefire one for sure. Like Ethereum is probably the easiest coin I could recommend, and it's because it's lower market cap than Bitcoin, and it's more volatile than Bitcoin, and not only that, so that makes it move easier. But not only that, but Bitcoin is very rigid and structured and doesn't do anything particularly special. That means, and it basically has a schedule. So unless you have, let's just say, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you can get multiple Bitcoins, I would rather go into something of lower price that I can get more of and kind of see that exponential growth really be nice for me. Bitcoin's more of an investment, though we know by the end of the year Bitcoin was supposed to be 100 grand, and within a couple years 500 grand. We're talking a couple years Bitcoin will be 10x in a couple years. We could go into Ethereum and be 10x within not a couple years, but like a year or 2 years versus like 5 years on Bitcoin or something like that. The volatility and the gain potential, the reward potential on Ethereum is much higher, but Bitcoin is just more stable. So if you have a lot of money already, Bitcoin's like the safer way to multiply your money. If you don't, Ethereum's the second safest way to multiply your money, and you'll see with a little more risk, also a little more reward. So that's probably the investment for most people I would recommend, Ethereum. Now, after ETH2, you're going to have to keep an eye out on the competition in the blockchain space and see who's really giving ETH2 a run for their money. We have Cardano right on up there. Now it's 5th place at 42 billion. Cardano's got about 5x potential, 6x potential before it would catch up to Ethereum, but Cardano also sets out to be the Ethereum killer. Cardano could be a good investment, but it really depends on how it ends up competing. One of the ways that these networks end up competing is not just like adoption, but use, like adoption via use. So with the smart contract programs, a lot of these programs you see, top 100 Coinbase, they are DeFi apps that run on top of the Ethereum network. Cardano needs to have a large amount of development in its DeFi app space to make it useful compared to Ethereum's app ecosystem. Or else, why would you want to use Cardano's? Let's just say Cardano only has a couple useful DeFi apps where Ethereum has a lot of useful DeFi apps. What's going to make you want to use Cardano over Ethereum's programs? So Cardano needs to have, the app developers, we'll just call them that for sake of simplicity, come in and really flesh out the ecosystem here so that maybe you would choose to use Cardano's apps versus Ethereum's apps. We're not there quite yet. And that's why a couple days ago I related it to like the Android versus iPhone scenario. Everyone knows back in the day, at least, that when it was a decision between which phones to get, should I get an iPhone or should I get an Android device? Back in the day, yes, there was the software, Lagdroid, whatever you want to call it. But the main differentiator was the App Store. Cardano is like the Android, whereas Ethereum's like the iPhone. The Apple App Store has been known to have better development support, and because of that, much better apps. More apps, better apps. That's the situation here. Cardano's the Android situation that has potential to be better overall, maybe, but it does not have the developer support, which means it just does not have the same level of applications. So the everyday person, unless they like being kind of in the beta and messing around with new stuff, they're going to gravitate towards the platform that's already kind of fleshed out and works better for them easily. And Ethereum already has all the good apps and developers. Cardano's the new guy. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. You're buying Doge at 12? Nice. Mix that Doge. Get them Hex and Pulse chain bags full. I just saw you deny Matt Wallace on Twitter. Send me a DM. No, Savage. That was actually a bot. It was a bot that mimics. You know how they do. They try and pretend like they're the actual person. That's why I just said no. They were trying to scam me. I'll just prove it. This guy said it says Matt Wallace. You can see here looking at the username, it's not the same. There's no E. And usually the easiest way to determine whether or not they're a scammer or not, just click on their profile picture, check how many followers they have. Matt Wallace does not have only 9 followers, so this is a bot. A fake Matt Wallace that's trying to scam me. That's why I said no. Let's check out ETH and see if we've got that double bottom that I just heard about. Oh yeah, check that out. It's almost a triple bottom here. But that's the same thing that we were seeing on Bitcoin, the triple bottom, and that's why this reversal right here wasn't surprising. Look at Ethereum go. See here, 1, 2, 3, kind of the same thing here on Bitcoin. That's why I wasn't surprised to see this reversal to come back to here, but then as soon as we hit here at the decision point, we got the Amazon rumor, and that caused that massive candle. Apparently, Charles Hopkins is working on ETH Classic to make it like he wished ETH would be, but couldn't because of Vitalik. Is that true, though? Because Charles Hopkinson started Cardano for that purpose. So why would he work on Ethereum Classic? Seems like a conflict of interest. Charles Hopkins is the Cardano creator. The whole purpose of Cardano was to do that. Make a network like what he wanted ETH to be, but couldn't because of Vitalik. Do I think 12 cents Doge is not only dangerous, but harder to regain momentum and more likely to go even lower? Yeah, I don't like cryptocurrency going below a certain point. Now, there's points where seeing it go that low, it's like, ooh, a dip. And then there's points where seeing it go that low, it just makes people concerned. We've already lost a lot of steam because of how much we've been dipping. People in the retail space don't tend to be like mentally resilient, I guess you can say. So they really start to get shaky, sweaty paper hands when the price goes low, and they like to start preaching that crypto or that particular cryptocurrency is dead once it starts going to a certain point. Now, you'll see all those people end up panic selling and want out, and then next thing you know, they check their app 2 months later, and Dogecoin came from 15 cents and now it's 60 cents, and then they're going to buy back in at the top and then ride the wave back down. That's just the way they go. Retail traders typically, if they're beginners, are not just very smart, and that's why there's plenty of money to be made if you know what you're doing. because you usually capitalize off of those people. But anyway, my point is, being that something like Dogecoin is primarily retail traders, and then also of those retail traders, primarily new people. A lot of people, even some of you in this chat, got introduced to trading, did not come from the stock market or Forex or anything else. You came into trading because you stumbled upon Dogecoin, and that's what you wanted to get involved in. And then you learned things from this stream, other streams, or maybe you haven't learned at all, from Dogecoin. That was your introduction, and you just got thrown in. So you got to consider how many of those type of people that just downloaded Robinhood and bought Dogecoin and have no idea how to trade properly, how many of those people there are. When they see the price go down, they don't know why. They don't understand the concept of Bitcoin leading the market. They don't understand the concept of a market crash and then a rebound. All they see is, oh, Dogecoin price keeps going lower and lower. Dogecoin must be dying. And because the majority of Dogecoin traders are those type of people, the lower we go, the harder it does become to regain momentum. And the only time that we get momentum back is on confirmation that we are going up. And then what ends up happening is those noob retail traders, they like to buy into momentum. And that's why I keep saying that when Bitcoin breaks above 42.5 and we make a new high and it's clear that we are reversing, that's when you're going to see all the new retail traders start to buy back into the altcoins. They don't like buying at the technically correct spots at the bottom because they don't understand the concept of a bottom and then a reversal. They FOMO buy in when things are already happening, saying, wow, look at this thing running, it's going so fast and so far. I want to buy in because it's going to probably just keep going. And that's why you see massive breakouts and momentum continuations, because all the FOMO buyers come in. You start seeing these massive green candles, and then all the smart people take profit, and the retail traders were still buying at the top. And then they're like, why does every time I buy, the price seems to go down, and then every time I sell, the price seems to go up? It's because they don't know what they're doing. And they trade emotionally. They buy into moves that are already happening or almost done, because they get baited in by seeing the price continually going up. And they're like, oh man, I got to jump on this. So once we see a breakout and confirmation and people get excited again, that's when we'll see Dogecoin slingshot. Teach me the ways. Lots of new Doge investors bags stuck from 75. Oh yeah. Everybody likes to cry whales, manipulation, oh, hedge funds, oh, manipulated market. Sometimes it's just technical things that were to be expected. A lot of times, though, it is manipulation, but in the crypto space, there's definitely less manipulation so far than there is in the stock market space. So some things are manipulation, but some things are just like you should have known by looking at the chart. And yeah, everyone knew on Doge Day that the price was probably going to sell off pretty hard. Not probably, but was going to. So if they weren't prepared to sell, that is on them. Checking out CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin's up 1.5% today, but 23% for the week. Ethereum's doing very well, up 4% today, but 17% for the week. Cardano doing very okay, up the same amount as Bitcoin, but not nearly as far as either for the week. XRP, meh. Dogecoin, also meh, to be honest. One about up as much, almost as much as Bitcoin, but for the week, really, there were obviously some days here where we did not see as much green as the other guys. 23, 17, 25 versus 7%. So Polkadot's doing good. Uniswap's doing very well as well. Actually just hit the top 10. Congrats to Uniswap. I think yesterday it was 11th, so that's good. Yeah, it was probably right behind Binance because the market caps are only about 500 mil away. Very close. Bitcoin Cash, 12th place. And Chainlink's still in 13th, making its way up. Doing very well, now at $23, which is crazy. What other things are in the Oracle space? I'm curious to see what else is in the Chainlink category. So let's go find the Oracle category. Chainlink number 1. Wow, there's nothing even close, but look at UMA. Whatever this is. I have heard of Daya. It's a very low market cap. But see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. When it comes to potential for coins, the easiest way to determine potential is look at the category that it's in. For example, Chainlink is an Oracle solution that basically takes real-world data and allows it to be injected into like a smart app, a DeFi app, like in real time in a decentralized manner. So basically, let's just say there was a smart contract DeFi app on the Ethereum network that lets you do something. Chainlink could be integrated into that and inject information. So what is the price of current stocks, or the price of current cryptocurrencies, or what time is it in Africa? I don't know. It could inject that real world information in real time into that application and link that in a decentralized manner, because that's the whole purpose. Decentralized cryptocurrency in programs, keeping it all decentralized. So that's where these programs come in to assist in different ways and provide those aspects of normal programs in a decentralized way. Chainlink is obviously first place in this category by far at a $10 billion market cap. But here, second place, we see rank 103 is UMA. UMA is also an Oracle solution. What is UMA's price potential? Well, I have no idea what UMA does in comparison to Chainlink, but the obvious thing I could say is that 10 billion market cap, 550 million market cap. That means that if UMA were to get to a point where it was as good as Chainlink, or maybe even slightly better to just say it's competitive, that the price of UMA has potential to become this price. So the market cap has room to this market cap. That would make sense. The value would then match Chainlink's value. So 10 billion divided by 550 million is going to be 20. So UMA has potential to about 20x if it becomes as good as Chainlink. So this $9 could be whatever, 9 times 20, 180. That's the easiest way to look at that. And then same for this. Augur has potential, if it became as good as UMA, to double market cap and become that good. So 26 could be about $50 one day if Augur gets better. So that's kind of how you look at them. But then if you want to go down into that rabbit hole, you have to then start studying each of these different assets and figuring out like what they do, and do they actually have potential, or are they just not good variants? That way you don't just end up saying, oh, well, with that reasoning, Option Room is an Oracle and it only has a $46,000 market cap. So that means if I put $1,000 in here and it became as good as Chainlink, I could be a multimillionaire. Yeah, maybe technically true, but you have to do your research on Option Room and make sure it doesn't suck. Because if it was that simple, we would all be millionaires already. Is AMP looking to go up, down, or stay at 0.075? That's a good question. It's going to depend on Bitcoin, but overall, AMP's trajectory is going to be up because AMP is supposed to be a more stable crypto. They kind of created it to be that way. They didn't want AMP to be wildly affected by volatility. They wanted AMP's value to be determined less based off what the market was doing and more based off of what was happening actually within AMP. And so AMP goes up in value when more people use it with adoption, similar to Dogecoin. The more it's implemented, Dogecoin as a global currency, AMP as a retail solution for payment being implemented at local retailers, the more that's done, the more people use AMP, the more transaction fees are generated, which means the more money gets paid out to the stakers, and that makes it even more valuable as more people are going to want in a piece of that pie. So 0.75 is actually not that high compared to where it was, which was about 5 cents. I could see definitely AMP to 10, AMP to 15 within the next couple months pretty easily. It just needs a couple good catalysts, so implementation into some good retail locations, and that would do it. So yeah, but it is a little high compared to where it was. I think if I was looking for a buy on AMP, I would probably do the same thing I'm doing on Dogecoin, which is wait to see how this move plays out, because there's potential if we do not pass 42.5 and we end up falling back down towards normal territory, back, Bitcoin back into the 30s, that AMP will have pulled back again to where it came from and cooled back down towards 5 cents. And that would be a better dip to buy, anywhere from 3 to 5 cents. But obviously, if I see confirmation of a breakout in a market reversal, AMP will probably end up 10 to 12. So I would rather buy closer to now than much later on. But that's the beauty of this here. We're at a good spot near resistance, so we get to see. Do I buy here once it breaks resistance, or do I confirm it's going to crash and buy later? Maybe El Salvador will use it for Bitcoin payments. That would be huge. That would be really huge. And that would probably work out very well for them because, like we talked about, AMP is Bitcoin's not a good coin standalone to do transactions in person. The blockchain network and the way transactions are confirmed and confirmations are sent back, it all moves too slowly to make sense when you're in a store at a checkout line. So AMP solves that problem. And then a good idea would be to check on AMP competitors and see what could be also in that space and could give it a run for its money, because that's going to be a very, very important sector over this next year. Finally, a place that gives you real info on Dogecoin. Thank you. Appreciate that. It is my goal to not just be a pump channel, hype channel, Doge to the moon channel, but we talk about the real stuff here. And because the goal is to make money. Us saying Dogecoin to the moon constantly, every single stream, is not going to make us any money. But we want to figure out what's actually going to happen. And that's kind of what we do every day. Yeah, so there is that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I just wanted to just see how everybody was doing, make sure we're on the same page, and just answer questions. But didn't have too much to talk about today. And this was actually a much longer stream. It's been an hour than I even thought it was going to be. So that's cool. Basically, just to wrap it up, though, the one thing we need to be looking at is Bitcoin to 42,550. The previous high, if you just go to the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin, go right back to May 20th, you'll see the candle right here. This was the high. Until we can break above that high that we made, we are not really looking into like a reversal stage. We're not there yet. So until then, that's just a resistance, and we're trying to see if we're going to get there and break it. Once we break above it with some momentum, we'll be able to potentially see a market reversal, and that'll be a great time to be all in and ride that wave up to Bitcoin 50,000, Bitcoin 55, or wherever it decides to go and before it stops. But right now, I don't really feel like it's going to happen. But I am here for it if it does, of course, to make the money. Let me know. Follow me on Twitter at 2020 Tech Reviews if you want to keep up with my updates that I post in between streams. And I will be keeping an eye on the chart and posting about that as the day goes on. If anything interesting happens, there is also a chance that when I end the stream, it just breaks out immediately, in which case I'll be on Twitter talking about it. And if you want to support the stream, check out my store. Link is at the top of the description, myhodleware.com. You can just click that link, check it out, see if you like anything. If you want, you can pay even in Dogecoin, which is pretty sweet natively, or you can just pay with card. But yeah, check it out, see if you like anything. Helps me out. So thank you guys for hanging out, and I will catch you guys tomorrow in the next stream.